Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been so long, but not to worry guys, I am back and I'm back to stay. In today's video guys, I'm going to show you a little trick on how to sew back your torn closure or frontal. Now, a lot of people have asked me previously that do I throw my wig away if the closure is torn, or do I replace it, or what do I do with it literally? And I've always said that a torn closure doesn't necessarily mean that the wig is gone or done. So yeah, you can actually revamp it, sew it, and get the best of the wig. In this video, I am going to be showing you how to sew back this torn closure or frontal per se. This is badly torn, and that's why I said I'm going to make a video just to show you guys how you can revive a severely damaged frontal. As you can see, this is torn in so many places. My client reached out to me and asked if I could restore this wig to its original form. Now, my answer will always be the same. No wig is beyond repair. So I took up the challenge, and this is me trying to sew the wig. Now I'm going to tell you the first thing you need to do if you're working with a torn closure, especially a worn out thin closure, which this is. You're going to need a very tiny needle. Do not use a big needle. It's going to poke holes in the frontal, and you're going to, be left with more damage than you started with. So I tried to use a very tiny needle, and I'm using just one loop of a thread. So a single thread, loop it into two pieces, and then you're just going to use that. I did not record this, but if you want me to make a thorough tutorial on how to loop your thread or fix your thread on a needle, just let me know in the comment section and I will definitely do that. So I started sewing, and the sewing method that I'm using on this frontal is looping method. So looping is just literally putting the needle through one hole and bringing it out through the other. So it's like on both sides, you thread from the first side and then it comes out through the other side, and you're just gonna knot it, if that makes sense. But I'm literally doing that in the video. If you have any question, please just do send them in my comment section, and I'll definitely reply that. I can't speak English today. Anyways, so because this wig is torn in too many places, I was sewing them in piece. So I did the first line, and then I am on the second part, which is like a cross on the in the middle of the frontal. Not to worry, my client is aware that because I've sewn this closure, she might not be able to part the side where the sewing is, so she'll literally be parting on one side or the middle side. So fortunately for my client, the wig was torn on just one side, I think the left side, so she's still good to rock the wig. Now I kept doing that single thread, don't forget, looping method. And when you're sewing, make sure that you're putting the needle at the end of the frontal, so it's end to end. Do not go deep into the middle, because it's going to pull the frontal and you're going to lose more size. So you're going to be losing size. So let's say the wig is a 22 cap. When you start sewing deep into the frontal, you're going to reduce the size. So it's best to just keep it very thin on a straight line at the tip or at the edge of the frontal. So as I'm doing right here, I think at some point I did zoom the video so you guys could see exactly what I was doing. So yeah, I am still sewing. I'm just trying to make sure that it's well sewn, because we want to avoid the closure getting torn again. So it's like, make sure that it's tight, but at the same time not too tight, because remember, you're dealing with a net. The frontal is actually a net, so it's gonna damage more if you keep poking holes and pulling it too tight. So make sure that you're using your hand to support the thread. So when you loop it, just use your hand to hold down the frontal before you pull it. I don't know if that makes sense. So you put it through, make sure that you're holding the head of the mannequin or the wig down before you pull it. Also, you should make sure that you pull the two ends together, just as I'm doing in this video, because you need them to come together before you can sew it. Do not sew the frontal with the two ends apart. So if your closure is torn or your frontal is torn and you want to sew it, make sure that you pull them together. Make sure that they are close enough to sew before you sew them, because if you start pulling it from far distance, you might end up tearing the wig more, if that makes sense. Right, so here I have actually zoomed the video so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So as you can see, I am not sewing deep into the frontal. I'm just taking the two ends, which is just the edge where the closure has like a torn line. So I'm just putting the two ends together, and I'm just looping it together, and then just wrapping the thread around the needle and securing it. So yeah, that's how you sew your frontal. Now remember guys, if your frontal is severely torn and is worn out, please make sure you go over it like 2 times. So I've done the first line, I'm going back up with the thread and the needle just to make sure that the sewing is actually secured. I now went ahead and cut it, and this is how the sewing looks. It's not my finest job, to be honest, because I was actually in a rush because this client needs to install the hair. So yeah, this is the inside of the wig. Not too bad. Like I said before, the cut is on the side, which means the client can still rock the wig from the center. Now I need to revamp this wig, and I have lots of videos on how I revamp, but this is a part 1 of this wig because I wanted you guys to see how the wig turned out. So I'm just gonna brush it, and then I'm gonna take it to the sink and revamp the wig. So I did a couple of treatments on the wig after combing it. I did do a deep cleansing with conditioner, some hot heat protective serum. I can't speak today. And then I put in some treatment just to restore the wig to its original form. And yeah, I'll just show you guys a glimpse of the final look, but in the part 2 of this video, I'm gonna show you how I restored this wig to look like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time. Bye.